What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This is your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at y'all once again. Getting ready to drop some of this quantum, what I call quantum calculus on you. But it's basically coming from, as I always understand and understand, the most important knowledge you will ever read, implement, and live to forever, which is quote unquote what we call the Luciferian doctrine. Now, this is understanding this realm. Now, I know that a lot of people are perplexed with theories or more quote unquote bases of the cosmic energy that has actually been transcribed in this world, as we call quote unquote in this thing appellate called planet Earth. But we have to take it into consideration that you have to realize that you, as an individual who is in particular, if you feel as if you don't really belong on this plane, then you have to understand that you have to understand the realm that you're in. Yes, a lot of people feel as if they're not inclusive in society as far as society has been foisted upon people. But there are a lot of people who I call indigo people who basically don't really, mix or mingle with the tainted side of society. And these are the people who I call, in my own vernacular, the set-asides. The people who basically see things as they are, but they're more intuitive and they're more progressive in their own personal right, as opposed to being a part of a societal whole. So y'all stick with me, because it gets deep. Now, understanding this realm is very important knowledge. On the beginning, it was suspended, an infinite droplet of countermatter, which had only two properties, motion and intelligence, through a continuous movement which took more than half an eternity, So eternity is actually a time that was actually measured. A self-conscious program developed. The one, which is the all, which is called the macrocosm, which sees all the others, is called what you identify as God, which is universal intelligence. And he gained monopoly over this realm. Now, it always boils down to, why does God have to be he? Because there was one instance where this was actually deified as being, quote unquote, the particular God of the actual realm. We're going to get to the demiurge later on in this series. After getting to know, which the God had to actually come to know, what has been possible to know about his surroundings and the nature of countermatter, his face being a burning need to expand his knowledge, let's underline that, to have advantage over the risk of being annihilated by other programs, which might be possibly created beyond his realm or be unknown, is also to serve the purpose to get to know himself better and allow his further development. Knowing to not create any competition in his realm, he perpetuated the creation of the physical world. Let's go further. Through trial and error, a plan was devised and effects achieved, which allowed to be the most effective in realization of this goal. And this is what is called Yadalbayad, which is also called the demiurge. A dipolar gravity realm was created, which implicates that everything which exists and present in the two parallel worlds are at the same in one time. The substance from our physical world is characterized by mass, inertia, friction, and lack of intelligence. The one existing in the counter matter has the inverse features. It's weightless, self-mobile, super slippery, and possesses a natural intelligence, which is an example capable of thinking in its natural state, where the lines of gravity force converge to one border point, to disappear from our world through some sort of unseen barrier, to show up in a separate form other than that which is ours, which is what we call a parallel world, which is where you go when you actually have dreams. Tapping to this force gives an immense power. It's a knowledge about the nature of the mother of matter. Let's go further. Structure of an atom. More precisely, it's a dynamic system of expansion and contraction bound by its own equilibrium, creating infinite potential with a finite boundary, all set in motion by a central black hole, which is by force of torque creates a two equal and opposite polarized magnetic fields, positive and negative, and contracting force of subatomic black holes, which is why protons, which are positive, are attracted to the center, and electrons, which are negative, are repelled outward. The resulting convergence of two opposite polar charges creates smaller fields of equilibrium known as neutron particles. The convergence of these separate planes creates the perception of a three-dimensional reality. Y'all ready? Let's go. Entities were created to help unravel the unknown for the black vastness of knowledge. The black vastness of knowledge. They were allowed to use this counter matter to think for themselves, similarly as God, but being bound to reality in which it was created. However, the purpose, underline the word purpose, created resulted from the requirement for survival. So an additional plan was brought into this reality. Implications of it are vast and allowed to explain all that is. The realm of ours is not the only one God. It is not how alone we are to ever populate his world. Notice the demiurge. He is not perfect. Now, I know that might be a large pill for people to swallow because religious indoctrination has often cut you off from the higher truths and higher expectations of the higher development. But he doesn't know everything, and it is not about being good or evil people. Understand that. You have to understand that one thing and for sure, and two things for certain. If I leave you off on this note, I'm not misleading you, I'm keeping it real. If the other realm centers ours, it would mean an immediate war. Countermatter forces such pressure on the self-conscious programs which developed it in it. God, according to the quote-unquote universal calendar, has to cause the development and to win those battles to be annihilated and perish forever. An example, imagine blackness or nothing, which is ultimate defeat. Therefore, to meet demands and ensure his survival, an additional plan was introduced to create an also very, very versatile and unique gods, which were prepared to deal with the danger on their own. Think about it. A species procreates to cause combinations of his many genes. So if a virus or a bacteria would penetrate the defenses, it will only kill a part of the whole species or the organism as a whole, as there will be certain units or parts who are resistant to it. The same is with the plan. The thing is that those two worlds collide. The fight will be perpetuated very probably on the enemy grounds, so there will be no protective arm of what they call God, with perhaps only access to the countermatter. It is possible that such a fight takes place already, somewhere in the universe. The current version of this reality features a software reversible die. Wow. To the people who have been limited in their disposition or their discernment, or whatever you wish to call it, I will tell you this. Yes, you have not been fully informed or properly informed about the actual extent of the reality in which you reside. So now it boils down to the simple fact of the matter that you basically have not been informed of the proper side of reality that you actually reside in, but you actually have to take it into strict consideration of where you stand tomorrow. Take it into strict consideration. Part 2 coming later. Like, subscribe. Your first time viewing this channel, like and subscribe. No conspiracy theories here. Agents, do not contact me. I do not consent, nor do I oblige. This is what it is. But as much as I can expound upon this, I will. You better understand the actual sanctum of your realm, which you actually reside in. Take it from there. Learn the very significant truth in less than 10 minutes. So, in that consideration, taking it to strict actual deliberation on your own study and your own personal knowledge. Take care. Peace, light, love. Talk to y'all later.